We finna get into this topic right here. A man killing people. Goddamn serial killer. Let's go.
What happens after a body drops is usually where the real story starts. Not because
Bro.
the police suddenly know everything, not because the streets start telling the truth, but because too many killers make it through the murder and then start tearing their own case open in the hours that follow. The adrenaline is still running.
You got the
ego
pipe
is
right
bigger
there.
than ever. The need for credit gets
You got
louder.
that shit pointed.
And instead of going quiet, they start posting, rapping, laughing, hinting, messaging, or flat out bragging. What should have stayed buried at the crime scene starts leaking into phones,
Let's look demonic as
videos,
hell.
captions, and court files. Before we get into this case, make sure you check out my website through the link in the description. That is
skip that shit.
In the fall of 2023, police say 17-year-old Lorenzo Thompson
17?
opened fire at a gas station, shooting in Northwest DC on November 3rd. 14-year-old Nico Estep was killed. Another juvenile was wounded. Thompson was later arrested and charged as an adult with second-degree murder. But what pushed the case into another category was not just the shooting itself. It was what police say happened 3 days later.
We begin tonight with the murder of a 14-year-old. The shooter and another person were caught clearly on surveillance camera. Tonight, police tell us the accused gunman is also a teenager. And today, the district
these little motherfuckers here, boy,
to a rise in violence and crime.
These little sick bastards be getting out of hand. Try to tell you, they just don't care. They just blast.
I'm among children.
Surveillance camera images show the bone-chilling scene outside the Crown gas station at 14th and Euclid Streets Northwest about 11:30 p.m. November 3rd. A teenager in a ski mask, a gun in his hand, starts firing from near the doorway. He keeps shooting toward 3 people on scooters in the parking lot. 14-year-old Nico Estep did not survive his injuries. 12 rounds. While a man in a black jacket with a hood up and a woman with red braids and a white parka who'd followed the gunman as he rode a scooter onto the parking lot stood by and did nothing to intervene, according to court documents. Other images show what appears to be the same woman wheeling the gunman's scooter back to a nearby apartment building. It was later determined to be the home address of 17-year-old Lorenzo Thompson. Officer Whitfield looked at the still shot of the female with red braids for approximately 15 to 20 seconds before he stated that it looked like Lorenzo Thompson's mother.
According to a court report described by Fox 5, Thompson went on Instagram Live and appeared to brag about the killing. Investigators said he referenced the victim by nickname and said got him. The same reporting said police believed he showed no remorse and was celebrating the
this
shooting.
nigga cold.
Fox 5 DC. Sit with how reckless that is. A boy is dead. Detectives are still building the timeline. Families are still in shock. And the suspect is allegedly online, turning the killing into a moment. That is not just carelessness. That is the sickness underneath a lot of these street cases now. The body drops, and instead of—
And these niggas be trying to get clout off all this shit, man. That's another reason why they do it. They just wake up in the morning. You know what I'm saying? I gotta get some clout. You know what I'm saying? I gotta kill some niggas. You know, like, what the fuck, bro?
Of the shooter shrinking into silence, he reaches for the audience. Then there is Lakeland, Florida, where the self-snitching took a different form, but the same ego sat underneath it. In December of 2022, Polk County detectives say LaDarion Chandler shot John McGee in the back inside Lakeland's Secret Cove subdivision. McGee later died on January 9th. The sheriff's office said Chandler was a documented gang member, that the victim belonged to a rival gang, and that detectives later found a rat video on Chandler's social media talking about shooting somebody in the back, a detail they said had not been made public. The lyric that drew attention was brutal in how direct it sounded. I hit his back. Investigators treated that like more than music. They treated it like a suspect rapping his own case into the performance. Polk County Sheriff's Office. That is what makes this case so dark. The murder does not end at the shooting. It allegedly keeps going through the content, through the self-mythology, through the performance of being feared. A lot of people hear a lyric and think the only question is whether it sounds tough.
Tried to run out in his back, gloss you like a map. Third ass in.
And niggas like,
find me
Detectives hear something else.
Hey, what the fuck, bro?
Detail.
Shit, weak as hell.
Proximity to facts that were not supposed to be public yet. That is why this kind of self-exposure can be so dangerous. The suspect is trying to sound bigger than the crime, but instead he starts sounding emotionally locked to it. Polk County Sheriff's Office. What makes Chandler's case even more important is that it shows how the street, the music, and the violence can start feeding each other.
The victim's John McGee. But on December the 17th, just more than 2 months after he was released from prison, he was shot in the back. He was expected to recover. We started the investigation. And as the investigation went on,
He tried to
24
run.
days later, he died in the hospital. Now, some of you may say, well, what kind of hospital care was that?
Right.
They were giving him the best hospital care.
So somebody
But
came in
as he
and just
started
cut
to
his
get better,
cable off or some
he
shit.
refused to take the medicine that they said he had to have in order for his body to heal. Now, during this period of time,
Shit, he don't want to live no more.
because
Obviously,
shit,
shit.
who shot him?
Hey, the nigga don't want to live no more. He say, fuck it. I'd rather die. Go to the next life. Shit. Fuck him. Right?
He
Yeah.
would not cooperate. What little bit he said, he lied to us,
See, he lying.
and he lied to us, and then he refused to take his medicines.
What happened here was a miracle, and I want you to fucking acknowledge it.
Trying to say, hey, dude, you have got to take your medicine. He was going to get well and go back and seek revenge on his own.
Yeah, that's all he was gonna do.
Opposing gang member.
Then there is Fort Wayne, Indiana,
End up
where the
dying.
self-snitching looked less like one clean confession and more like a digital trail of ego. Authorities say 20-year-old Jathan Maxwell was shot and killed in July of 2024. Months later, Cameron Kaiser Jr. was charged with murder. But what made the case stand out was the post-shooting online behavior investigators described in court documents. According to reporting, Kaiser allegedly posted headshot after the killing. He also put out a YouTube rap where he said, "I gotta finish the beef they started." Investigators also cited messages and social posts showing threats toward
Niggas
Maxwell
crazy.
before the homicide. Law and crime. This case matters because it shows how self-snitching is not always one loud dramatic moment. Sometimes it is scattered, a phrase here, a lyric there, a threat from before, a post from
His ass
None
gone.
of those pieces by themselves tell the whole story. But once police
Oh,
line them
well.
up beside the timeline, they stop looking random. They start looking like emotional fingerprints. They show who was angry, who was obsessed, who wanted the beef to be public, and who still felt the need to perform after the blood was already on the ground.